7 Days to Die has officially dropped on console, and here's everything you should know about the console version of 7 Days to Die. Let's dive in. For one, let's start with the most obvious changes. This is only for the next-gen consoles. Anybody playing on older platforms will not be able to have the access to 7 Days to Die 1.0. Number 2, 7 Days to Die will no longer support the split screen option. Anybody out there wanting to play with the family, meanwhile sharing 2 controllers and only 1 screen, will also not be able to do that. Partially due to the high demand from the game, 7 Days to Die will certainly make your next-gen console work for it. As you can see, if a single player is pushing it, can you imagine what a 2-split option would do to your console? Number 3, the frame rate. We all love to have a pretty well optimized game, and for the most part, 7 Days to Die is fairly optimized for what it is. However, you will not be getting 60 FPS across the board, especially for the PlayStation players. I'm pretty sure that applies to all consoles all the way across the board, just like I said, but I can certainly speak on behalf of PlayStation players. Anybody out there on Xbox Series X, please let us know how your console is handling it. For the most part, my PlayStation has been managing at maintaining between 41 and 44 FPS. Is it perfect? No. Is it manageable? I mean, yes, I'd say so. Number 4, resolution. 7 Days to Die is clearly looking a bit rougher on console than obviously it would be on PC. The best way I could describe it would be comparing it to a low-grade computer running everything on minimal settings. Everything in the game, especially in the distance, seems very blurry and washed out. If this is your first time playing this game, it might not be a big deal for you. You really wouldn't notice much of a difference. It will be more than likely unnoticeable. But for anyone switching between PC and the console version, of course, you will certainly notice a huge difference. Obviously, consoles will never match the outcome and the performance of a well-designed computer, but I will say for what the game is pushing, it's not bad after all. Could have been a lot worse, let's put it that way. Also, something worth mentioning before I forget, currently there is no option to toggle a third-person view, which is honestly a bummer because it goes against your character creation and customization, unless you're only creating your character for others to see and not necessarily for yourself. Some people prefer to toggle third-person view in certain situations. Unfortunately, as of now, that is not an option for console players. I do sure hope that they implement this at some point in the future, preferably as soon as possible. I personally haven't tested the multiplayer mode on console version of 7 Days to Die, so I really can't make a judgment call on behalf of performance and its overall stability while playing with a few more players. However, you are only limited to only play with 4 players at a time. There are rumors out there, however, that they will implement hosted server options sometime in the near future, which will enable you to play with a lot more players, just in case 4 players is not enough for you. After all, 7 Days to Die on console is clearly an improved version compared to the legacy version, which was a total disaster, let's face it. Will this version stay up to date and keep up with the PC version as it undergoes more updates in the future? Only time will tell.